Hey guys, guess what? I got my main YouTube channel back. Not the very first one I had, but the one that I had for like over a year has like 6,000 subs on it. But now I don't know where to stream to. There's not that many people watch on YouTube anyways. I guess I could change the YouTube channel back to my main one or something. I don't know. I forgot to start the timer. It'll be fun. Let's see if it'll let me add it to restream. Oh, it's making me sign into my brand account. Is it this? Or is it that? Okay, so it's not that one. It says that one's suspended. It's got to be this one, right? It says that one's temporarily suspended. Okay, so now what the fuck's going on?
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay.
Oh,
Fade away, we feel betrayed.
let me see if this goes onto that other channel. That would be wild.
The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves. Never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn.
We had the power went out again, which is kind of ridiculous, right? But whatever. It is live on that other channel. God, people are going to be like, I haven't seen this channel in forever. Yeah. That's insane. That channel's back available. I just thought about it because somebody the other day was like, hey, so-and-so got their channel back, and this channel came back, and that channel came back. So I was like, fuck it. Let's try it. Hold on just a second. Let me fix some stuff over on this channel.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the
Oh, there's so many good things over here that I thought was lost forever.
by name,
There's a bunch of videos over here.
who they are, and telling the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss 'em off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit.
Wow.
Y'all need Jesus.
That channel is good. It's got like 6,000 subs, 5.6 thousand subs. This has only got like 2,100 or something.
Broke deposit, swinging
But there's also a bunch of, I'm sure there's a bunch of Trump love there.
just like he's King Kong, starving for it.
Somebody says, I haven't seen you in forever. I lost that channel. I'm on a different channel right now. So that's why you're seeing all the weird chat that doesn't look like it belongs there.
Dress fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5.
The political spotlight.
If he did, he get fucking super.
Christopher Bilbrey.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss 'em off,
Yeah, I remember your podcast. You come on the show.
the best, you know that stage
I still follow you on Facebook. A bunch of interesting things from your town.
none yet. Here we go, I
That channel also was when I was like supporting Trump and stuff too. So this is gonna be a wake up call for a lot of people over there, I think.
You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom.
The chat's showing up and I can highlight it, so that's good.
Rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-6.
All right, we'll see what happens. Let me fade out this music.
Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops.
Who cares? I don't have to make money with my channel now, so
Wait. Stop.
I know how to run a channel into the ground. Just let me fucking work, chat, okay? Chill. I'll destroy my reputation by myself. Okay? Uh-oh.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird.
It doesn't matter
I
where
think
you
that's
watch,
just
Jen.
Incredible. I've watched
I
a few
just got- I
episodes,
wish I could
and
combine
I'm
the
just,
two.
very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Christopher Bilbrey, by the way, he has some crazy stories. He got arrested he was stalked by the cops in his town and won a lawsuit. He got arrested at a city council meeting. You have some wild stories. I still keep up with your Facebook, and there's still like wild shit going on in your area. I guess there's wild shit going on everywhere in small town America, but you have really good posts about it. Thank you for joining us. So I do have 2 channels currently running. They're both technically monetized. They gave me a channel back last night. So I woke up this morning and I had an email and I thought, oh fuck, I've lost another channel. Because I had emails. I had like 40 some emails from YouTube. And all the emails were like, this video is no longer monetized. This video is no longer monetized. This video is no longer. And I thought, oh fuck. Somebody's mass reporting them. And not being monetized is not a big deal until they move from not monetized to a strike. And if you get a strike, you got 3 of them and your channel's gone. So I thought, oh fuck. And I panicked and I went to my YouTube app and I'm like, shit, which videos? And I was scrolling and I was like, no, these, some of them's not monetized, but they're ones that I expect. Most of them are. Then I went back to the email and I'm like, oh shit. Like 3 or 4 days ago, Q Idiot came in and said that Michael Jaco got his channel back and all his videos restored. And that night, just from talking to him, I thought, well, maybe it'll let me I had already appealed this and they had already denied it. But once they started, you know how all the platforms started letting like political stuff and questioning elections and shit back on when that used to be a bannable offense. They when they changed the rules, kind of, they opened everybody else up for an appeal. And mine was never banned for questioning the election. Mine was never banned for medical information. That's what YouTube said I did, was election misinformation and COVID misinformation. But what I was actually doing was covering people like Phil. Phil would say something. I would say, that's a lie. Here's the truth. And then they would ban me for the things Phil said. So in my dispute, I was like, look, I've never been a fucking election denier on YouTube. I've never been like medical misinformation. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not any of these things that I got banned for. I actually dispute that information. And I just got caught up in what, like I would show somebody saying something. I would dispute it, show the information, show the facts, and we'd move on with our lives. And I made it funny. Like I put that it was a comedy. I made it funny, made people laugh about it, and went on about it, and didn't even think about it. And then I guess last night, sometimes they turned the channel back on. So it doesn't really matter where you watch right now. I'll figure something out, what channel we're going to continue forward on. They're both named the same. I probably need to at least change. I don't know. The one's got 6,000 subscribers that probably all hate me because they probably all expect me to still fucking support Trump. And the other one's got 2,000 subscribers, but who knows? I guess I can get back my clip channel too. I have a channel called, or I could try to get my clip back. I've got, what is it? What was the channel? I had CBC and On is a channel. There's the original channel removed. I need to dispute that one as well. I had CBC Media or CBC Clips or CBC something. That was like a clip channel. It had a bunch of clips. It doesn't matter. I'll fuck with that later. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Will Burr, the Skullbreak Confessional. I was going to start earlier, but we had a hell of a storm roll through. Like a storm loud enough with my headphones in and fucking watching something on the computer. I could still hear the thunder and shit. So it knocked the power out twice, but it was like, the lights didn't even go all the way off. It was just long enough to knock out the internet. So I didn't want to go, if the show goes off and I'm not back like immediately, especially like on Twitch, YouTube, it'll make a new video. Twitch, I should just come back at the same place where you're watching. If I'm not back immediately, we had a power outage. Nothing happened and there we are. I did some mowing today. The fucking mower keeps breaking. Had to push a mow. I'm wore out. But anyways, I'm here. And thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate that. We'll start off with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes has called out the Trump administration a couple times, but he's always been on their side. He's always like, this is bullshit. You need to change this. You need to stop doing that. But this is why we love you. This is why we voted for you. Now he's just done. Nick Fuentes is so fucking done over the Epstein list. And while we're speaking about the Epstein list, grand jury transcript is not going to be the Epstein list. I know some MAGA is running around now saying, oh, you guys said he wouldn't release it. Now he's got Pam Bondi releasing it. First of all, a judge has to approve that and probably go through it and see what can be released, what can't be released. Second of all, they've got an army of people waiting to do redactions. Third of all, that's not what we're wanting. We don't want grand jury transcripts. We want the case file. We want the evidence. We want all that shit. So to pretend like that's what we were asking for when we say we want the Epstein list, it sounds more like that's something like, hey, maybe this will appease them and they'll leave me alone. Maybe they'll do this. Maybe this causes them to leave us alone. Adding to the evidence that Trump's on the list or Trump had deep ties, we had that letter come out, right? And by the way, someone sent me this. I want to cover this before we talk about Nick. So this comes out of Lead Stories. There's an email I was sent, and it says, fact check, viral image is not Trump drawing for Jeffrey Epstein described by Wall Street Journal. Artist recreation. I saw this on Twitter. Of course, this isn't the letter. We didn't get the letter. No one posted the letter. What happened was the Wall Street Journal was allowed to view the letter. They weren't allowed to post it. They weren't allowed to share it. They were allowed to view it and write about it. Now, again, I don't know if this was Donald, if Donald made this or not. All I know is it's in the case file, and it allegedly is from Donald Trump. What happened was someone read the article and recreated this drawing. An artist said, oh, they describe it as, text covered by this, drawing with his signature as if it's pubic hair. This is what it would look like. But just because this image is fake, people are sharing this and saying, the letter from Trump to Epstein was fake. No, this image was clearly labeled by the artist of, this is a recreation of what it would have looked like from the Wall Street Journal description, right? This is an image. Being gone for way too long. Will, where would you prefer? Twitch is the best, but it's up to you. Twitch will have more people there and we'll have more engagement and stuff, but I've got 2 YouTube channels going right now, but anyways, Twitch is the best. Twitch.tv/coldbeerconfessional. Anyways, people were claiming that the letter of the Wall Street Journal isn't real because this recreation isn't real. These are 2 separate things, right? There's a letter in a book, bound in a book, that's allegedly from Donald Trump, and it was for Epstein's 50th birthday, gathered by Ghislaine Maxwell, and given to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. That's a thing. This is fake. Although all they did was read the Wall Street Journal and use the Wall Street Journal's description to make this. But this is fake. No one thinks this is real. People are just like, this is what it would look like kind of deal, right? So they've been sharing that this is debunked as if the entire letter was debunked. Like there is no letter. This is all made up by a Twitter user. That is not true. But what I was saying as to evidence that adds to Trump being on the list, basically, it seems like, I think it was early March, late March, sometime in March, Pam Bondi had a shit ton of FBI staff scouring the Epstein files. And they were specifically instructed to flag every time Trump appeared in the Epstein files. This comes from a congressman. What is it, Dick Durbin or whatever? That they were told to flag. Why? How many times would he be in there that the FBI needs a team of people to flag every time he's in there? Senate Judiciary Committee ranking member Dick Durbin said about 1,000 FBI agents were instructed to flag any records related to Jeffrey Epstein that mentioned President Trump. Why? I know why. I think it was because, I know why. I think it was because they were planning to release him, but they didn't want any of them. They wanted to make sure it wasn't going to make Trump look bad first, right? It can make anybody else look bad, not Trump. Okay? FBI agents were pressured to review about 100,000 Epstein-related records from March 14th to the end of March. Okay, so it was middle to end. Many of the agents lacked the expertise to identify statutorily protected information regarding child victims and child witnesses. Durbin pointed out that Attorney General Pam Bondi's previous past statements that she would release additional documents directly contradicted the DOJ's about face earlier this month when the department said no additional releases would happen. The letters asked Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Deputy Director Dan Bongino if they personally reviewed all the files for the DOJ's possession to relate to Epstein. Durbin also questioned why personnel were told to flag records in which Trump was mentioned and what happened to the records mentioning the president once they were flagged. They try to delete them. They try to get rid of them. What do they do with them? That's weird. Also, this is me being paranoid, schizophrenic, or fucking whatever. I want you to also be very, very, very leery of administration insiders giving out Epstein information to the media. like the letter that just come out of nowhere, right? No one's talked about Epstein. No new information has come out. None of this new stuff is coming out. Nothing. Then suddenly we get this letter for his 50th birthday that was recently never been reported on before, ever. No leaks, ever. Never been talked about before, ever. Where'd that come from? Because there is a very, very rich and very, very powerful group of people that put J.D. Vance in the White House a heartbeat away from becoming the president that doesn't need Trump anymore. That doesn't like that Trump is polling so poorly. Trump was their useful idiot, right? To get their stuff passed while he can claim, I'm doing good for the little guys, and lying. I would not put it past techno bros potentially releasing stuff that destroys Trump to where even Republicans are like, we got to get this guy out of here. Then who becomes your president? Right? He's two swelled up ankles away from being behind the fucking, being in the Oval Office behind the Resolute desk. It's kind of scary. And J.D. Vance is worse. I don't even think J.D. Vance would bother with pretending that he's doing it for his supporters in the South, blah, blah. He's just going to come out and be like, okay, we're doing it for the mega rich and fuck everybody else. If you die, we'll use your body as biofuel to run the AI a little bit longer. Like, it's crazy. All right, let's listen to Nick now. I've talked too much.
He says if you're not...
if you want to support the stream, no pressure. Okay? No pressure. I finally got my disability. But if you like the stream, you want to support the stream, you want to help us pay the bills around here, do that at coldbeer.fund. Coldbeer.fund. There's tons of ways to donate, and you can help support us that way.
On board with the Epstein cover-up? Oh, I don't want your support. You're a weakling. And now he says if you're not on board with the Epstein cover-up, oh, I don't want your support. You're a weakling. Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck. You are fat. You are a joke. You are stupid. You are not funny. You are not as smart as you think you are. You are, and honestly, and if you watch my show, you know I've been very critical. I've never been this far. This just goes to show this entire thing has been a scam. When we look back on the history of populism in America, we are going to look back on the MAGA movement as the biggest scam in American history. And the liberals were right. The MAGA supporters were had. They were.
Ooh.
When we look back in history, we will see Trump as a scam artist who served as a vehicle for this rather than the other way around. We were not the vehicle for Trump. Trump was the vehicle for all of us. Your supporters stuck with you through everything. Stormy Daniels, the Steele dossier, the impeachments, the insurrection. I mean, his supporters stuck with him through everything, even his failures. He says they will never learn. It's like, hey, dumbass, your supporters stuck by you through everything. What do you mean? They didn't fall for all that stuff. This is real, and now people are mad. He says the weaklings are doing the Democrats' work. I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Hey, you. Hey, you, fat ass. Really? I'm so sick of this. He thinks he's so funny. You're not funny. You're a joke. Thank you for your attention to this matter. You are a fucking cornball, okay? And now he said...
Damn, that's rough. From Nick Fuentes, dude. From Nick fucking Fuentes. That's pretty rough. Go from a supporter to this. The liberals were right. The left were right. We were had. We were taken for a run. Yeah, he just says stuff good. He doesn't actually deliver on any fucking thing, dude. If you want to piss off Bert, donate. That's exactly right. That hurts him the most in his heart. Yeah, especially fucking Nick Fuentes. It's insane to get that from Nick Fuentes, or at least I think it is. an ardent supporter from way back, from like 2016 back. Yeah, just he's done. He's fucking done. Worse than Kamala. Much worse than Kamala. Little pastor action.
Stand together tonight. I know you teenagers are tired. You ran around and kicked the ball. How many played soccer today? Did you play soccer today? Was that part of the thing? No?
By the way, there was one kid that raised their hand. So he asked, did you play soccer today? Look,
Tired.
hold on.
You ran around and kicked the ball. How many played soccer today? Did you play soccer today?
See that hand? One kid played soccer today, at least. That's all we see.
Was that part of the thing? No? Thank God. Soccer's for queers. I mean, I'm gonna tell you that.
What? That escalated quick.
Right now, no? Thank God. Soccer's for queers. I mean, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Ain't no man running around in shorts kicking a ball. I mean, come on now. Look at me, people. Look at me. No.
That doesn't make sense. Wearing short pants and kicking a ball?
No. Football, that's like somewhere in another country. Football, that's when you hit somebody so stinking hard the mama feels it. See, in soccer, you run around, you kick the ball. Let's kick the ball. Let's go kick the ball. And you and then
So I'm not a soccer player or really a soccer fan. Liam played soccer. I played football all the way up until basically at the college level, where I was getting ready to play college level before I went to ended up in jail. But in soccer, you run so much more. Holy fuck. Do you have to be conditioned for soccer?
football, that's when you hit somebody so stinking hard the mama feels it. See,
I always wore jorts, blue jean shorts. That's how you know. That's how you know you're the real deal.
Soccer, you run around, you kick the ball. Let's kick the ball. Let's go kick the ball. And then if you fall down, you get grass stains on your shorts.
Uh-oh.
No, that's not even a sport. I'm sorry. I know that. I get myself in trouble everywhere I go, but no. Football. Hike, tackle, blow somebody out of their shoes. Football. Not, soccer. When you kick them off, soccer. And we kick them off. Okay. But I know you're tired, young people. You're wore out from running.
Someone kicks the ball in football too, right?
Okay.
So he's not getting much of a reaction. He wants them all to laugh when he puts on the lisp and does this and pretends to be homosexual, right? But he's like, I know you guys are tired. You probably don't get it.
But I know you're tired, young people. You're wore out from running around in the sun, and you're 15 and your energy's gone. That always cracks me up, that? I just think that's fantastic. But anyhow, so we're going to take a few minutes tonight and cover a subject that is very important to your Christian.
Damn it. I wonder what Christian Unique 7 one of the other videos they got. He did not get the reaction he wanted. Here, let's see the pinned videos. Jesus, let the little children come to me, Pastor.
Parents, control your kids. Give them something to eat. I don't want to hear all of that while I'm preaching. Give them something to eat. I got applesauce back there. Some of y'all get some applesauce for those babies. I don't want to hear all that while I'm preaching. I need to focus. Somebody say amen. Parents, control your...
Damn it.
Jakes. He was in Niagara Falls. We went with the college group to go and see TD. And the pastor encouraged us to go, was excited about it, and the arena was packed out, Niagara Falls. And he had the whole crowd worked up. Everybody's speak to your neighbor. And after he kind of got the crowd worked up, he says, okay, now I need 1,000 people with $1,000 to come down to the front real quick. I want to pray for you. I need 500 people with $500 to come down over here on this side. I want to pray for you. 100 people with $100. You know, you can tell it's going down. You know, less the opportunity, the less you have. And 50 people with $50 over here. I want to pray for you.
Merbird gifted BugJude53 a subscription. Merbird gifted a tier 1 sub to BugJude53. They have given 38 gift subs in the channel.
Right, I don't have time for your shit. Not tonight, okay? No offense to Bug Dude, but I don't have time for Mariah's shit.
And it stopped right there. And I'm here like, you got to pay to pray? You know, 1,000 people with $1,000, that's $1 million for a prayer. Talk about prosperity, but the only people prospering are the ones on top. They take advantage of the poor. And here in Titus 1:11, we're told that the teaching itself was purposefully designed to gain money. And how much of the teaching do we see on, you know, on air that's all about getting money? Teaching to get money.
Dude, every pastor I knew when I grew up in the church was just poor, right? Usually they had a house. What do they call that? The parsonage? They have a house that's part of like the church property that the pastor and his family stays in. And they get a stipend from the church. And a lot of the pastors that we were under when I was a kid worked a job as well. Worked a job as well. Some of them didn't, right? Most of them did. We went to a church where my uncle was a pastor for a long time. He worked a regular job. And the church either will pay so much of your rent, or they already have a house. They own a house and you live in it for free, or they rent a house that they use for you. I think the idea of renting a house is probably better because you don't know if a pastor's going to come with 9 kids and needs multiple bedrooms, or they're going to come, you know, just a pastor and his wife. But they definitely weren't wealthy, right? And then they always, you know, lead from the front. I always saw them donating. Always saw them paying. Like when we had missionaries and like guest preacher, I always saw them donating and doing donations and giving back to the church. But this prosperity preachers are fucking wild, dude.
Money.
Like a long tube full of demons.
Conrad and Bailey writes, many churches have been discovered to be nothing more than fundraising outfits with the sole proprietorship maintained between the pastor and his wife. The pattern seems to be start a church, milk the congregation. Pastors basically prey on the vulnerable and the gullible. On TBN, which one pastor called the Wood, Hay, and Stubble Network, says there was an advertisement there where the person in charge says, if you're broke, if you're at your wit's end, if you're out of a job, out of work, let me tell you, not only are we going to bless the world and preach Christ to millions, but you can be saved yourself by planting seed in this fertile soil called TBN. Teaching in order to gain. False shepherds do that.
Is this going somewhere?
Reject authority, focus on triviality, lack integrity, promote disunity, crave prosperity. Number 6, false shepherds embrace conformity. They are like the world around them. Look at verse 12 and 13. It says, one of themselves, a prophet of their own, said, Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, lazy. False teachers, on the other hand, and reputation has a reputation.
I wouldn't have pinned that video. It's not very good.
The problem is that we say, no. Our problem is that God created the world. And God created man, and he put man in the garden to keep the garden. And he gave the man a command. And he held that man to perfect, perpetual obedience to that command. And he promised him life if he kept it, and death if he didn't. And he didn't keep it. He ate. And because he ate, because of that one man, sin entered the world, and death through sin. And everyone born from that man through ordinary generation inherited that man's sin nature. And because of that sin nature.
Was Popoff, who was the one that was husband and wife, and they got busted using radio frequency and the prayer request cards that they had people put in this little collection point before the service started?
Sins proceed from it, and our world is broken because of that sin. And we stand guilty before a holy and righteous God. And we know that he's holy, and we know that he's righteous, and we crave justice. But the problem is that if God gives us justice, we all die. And so that God, in his goodness and in his mercy, sent forth his son, who was not born of ordinary generation, but was born of a virgin. Yes, the virgin birth matters. Why? Because if he's born of ordinary generation, he's born.
It was Popoff. He was exposed in 1986 by a magician and anti-religion activist named James Randi for using a concealed earpiece to receive radio messages from his wife, who gave him the names, addresses, ailments of audience members. He would say, I think there's somebody here named Mary, and you've been having a problem with your leg. And so what they did is, like, before church started, hundreds of people gathered in like the lobby part of the church, and they would hand out cards that says, if you want us to pray for you, please write your name, phone number, address, and what is your prayer request. And they would put all these cards into the thing. Then the service would start and everybody would go inside. The wife would sneak around to like the audio room. She would come out, pull out all the cards, take them back to the audio room, and she had a headset and he had an earpiece in. Say, I feel like there's somebody here. Their name starts with maybe an L, and they're having trouble paying their rent this month. They come forward, and they'd come forward, and it looked like he was reading people's minds, or God was telling him what was going on, or whatever. And this guy, James Randi, started going to their church, and he knew something was up. So he started testing different things. People sending him signals. Was there like, a teleprompter in the back or something? But he ends up bringing in a little radio and has a bigger radio and a vehicle outside the church and intercepts all their transmissions. And it's just his wife saying, hey, this, and they even talked about like some fucked up shit. Like, she's like, I can't believe how much some of these people complain on their cards. They write down so much stuff, like stuff like that. It was wild.
Born in sin, but because he's not born of ordinary generation, he's not born in sin. He's clean of sin. His record is clean, and he keeps his record clean, and he obeys God's law. And because he's fully God and fully man, he obeys the law of God on our behalf in his active obedience. And then in his passive obedience, God made him who knew no sin to be sin for us. All we like sheep had gone astray. Each of us had turned to his own way, but God laid upon him the iniquity of us all. And Christ died for sin once might be saved.
I thought this was like crazy preacher takes, but apparently not. There was what was that? Bishop Marvin Waynes, he collapsed. Bishop Marvin Winans doing well. Alley Cat praise. There was one, let me see if I can find it. There was one that just went viral the other day. There's a Twitter account called Christian Nightmares or something like that. Oh my God. There's a TikTok post that says, knowing my husband is always packing and ready to defend our pastor from any threats at our church. Then underneath it says, the only time he closes his eyes is for prayer. How fucking gay can you get? Jesus Christ. That's it right there. Listen to this. No, I don't want the stitch. I want the full video. That's not it. That's Max Devlin. What is the account that it came from?
Christian.
Is this the clip? See if this is it. Listen.
Devil didn't take your man. You just don't have Christian coochie. I rebuke that loose, stinky coochie. Devil didn't take your man.
That's gotta be. Is that AI? You got that. You got that stinky coochie.
The devil didn't take your man.
Because I don't want him.
You just don't have Christian coochie.
The people in the background look AI.
I rebuke that loose, stinky coochie.
It's AI. I sent it to Mom yesterday.
I didn't say it.
Did it remind you of your mother, Mariah? There was one called, is it Christian Nightmares? Sorry, I'm on a tangent now. Yeah, Christian Nightmares. This Twitter account.
First of all, I want to
Tim Heidecker
announcement here. Our friend over at Christian Nightmares got his. This is the second time this has happened, folks.
Oh, Jesus.
He got his account on Instagram suspended, banned.
Oh, no. Hell has open borders. Heaven has a strict immigration policy. Hope this helps. You will not be surprised to learn that Brooks Pottinger is Pete Hegseth's pastor, of course.
For so long, and days have seemed so solid, so wholesome for so long, and then this. Well, this really is a satanic Trojan horse, where the enemy has commandeered Magnolia as a Trojan horse. So the story from the Aeneid, the Greeks are battling the Trojans for a decade unsuccessfully, and so they have a pretense of leaving, and they leave this huge wooden horse as a seeming gift.
He's saying that Chip and Joanna Gaines are a satanic Trojan horse because they featured a gay couple on their new show.
They have a pretense of leaving, and they leave this huge wooden horse as a seeming gift of surrender to the Trojans. Trojans bring it in, but the Greeks have filled it up with their best fighters. Once the gates are closed, fighters come out, destroy the city, right? That's what this is. Lull to sleep, wholesome. Get it in every single corner of your house. Consume it all day long. Trust them completely. And then have the agenda of normalizing same-sex mirage with these two poor souls of sons and have...
Same-sex mirage, not marriage. It's a mirage.
Trust them completely. And then have the agenda of normalizing same-sex mirage with these two poor souls of sons and have Chip Gaines say, what family-friendly viewing?
Doesn't make sense.
It's demonic, it's evil, and I hope the Lord burns all of it to the ground until they repent. And I mean that, because this is wicked. This is wicked.
This is wicked.
Pete Hegseth attends the launch of Christian Nationalist Church in Washington, D.C. Well, that makes sense. I like that. I actually like that coffee mug. We should get one for your mom. The far-right anti-Semitic men's club with Christian nationalist ties that's spreading across America. Oh, God, what's it called? The Old Glory Club, 26 chapters in 20 states. The Guardian recently published an expose on far-right anti-Semitic men's club called the Old Glory Club, OGC, which has at least 26 chapters in the U.S. and 20 U.S. states and ties to Christian nationalists. Below are some excerpts from the Guardian article with emphasis on the OGC's connection to the Christian nationalism. A nationwide U.S. network of dozens of far-right men-only fraternal clubs has what members describe as literally hundreds of participants who include past and currently serving military, personnel, lawyers, civil servants, and prominent anti-Semitic influencers, a Guardian investigation can reveal. The Old Glory Club, which has at least 26 chapters in 20 U.S. states, and until now has drawn little attention, exemplifies the alarming rise of organized racist political groups in the past few years, but especially during the rise of Donald Trump and his return to the White House. The OGC network has held conferences, meetups, and other events. Key members like podcaster Pete Quinos, I don't know how to say that, use their platform to push far-right ideas about Jewish people and immigrants. Other members have used their platform to respond to political events and to advocate measures including cancellation insurance for members whose extreme political views might impede their professional lives. This is a thing, like a year ago I saw this. Very, very far-right podcasters had a company, I guess they were signing people up for cancellation insurance. Basically, like if you drop the N-word on social media or something and you get fired, it was like unemployment for you. Unemployment insurance, and it included a lawyer, legal advice or legal representation one, and they would pay you a check because you did something racist and lost your job. Cancellation insurance. Harry Schuckman, a researcher of the UK anti-fascist nonprofit Hope Not Hate, who last month published an expose on the OGC-affiliated Basket Weavers organization in the UK, told The Guardian, groups such as OGC are the new breed of extremist organization which aims to first build an offline social network before taking over society. He added, they seek to lower the bar to participating in the far right, and by doing so have proved attractive to a cohort of mostly male members, some of whom have never before undertaken any form of activism. So when you hear of clubs like this and you're like, why would somebody just randomly join like a racist club? That's not what they bring you in as, right? It's a guy thing, you know, it's just men. There's a lot of law enforcement, there's a lot of military, a lot of people like you. We drink, we hang out, we play cornhole, we got a tournament coming up, blah, blah, blah. And as they bring you in, they slowly ramp up like, can you believe what's going on at the border? All the way to like, yeah, we just need to send them home. Who cares about due process? They didn't follow due process when they came in, kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like no one joins fucking Hitler at a concentration camp and is like, yeah, let's kill all the Jews, right? They start off slow, right? With like, man, aren't you tired of being fucking poor and struggling and not being able to afford things? The same way Trump comes on. Ryan Turnipseed is a charter member of the OGC umbrella organization, a frequent contributor to its Substack, and a frequent podcaster, and has spoken at OGC and Scaldings conferences. Previously, Turnipseed was excommunicated in May 2024 by the First Lutheran Church in his native Ponca City, Oklahoma, after a viral 2023 Twitter thread criticizing the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod's new catechism for accommodating progressive political positions, briefly making him a cause for the online far right. In February 2023, Turnipseed was identified by anti-fascist researchers as a member of what they called a rising white supremacist faction within the Lutheran faith. Later that month, the president of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod called for the excommunication of those propagating radical and unchristian alt-right views. Not long after Turnipseed's excommunication, Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Wichita, Kansas, defied the ban by accepting Turnipseed into membership. So one church kicked him out for being like a far-right piece of shit, and another church is like, we'll take you. And they make that a scene, right? They want it on social media. They want the news to see it. They want people to be talking about it. We'll take everybody. And it always blows my mind how people for literally hundreds of years, people have twisted the exact same faith to fit their fucked up views. And the Bible hasn't changed that much, right? They were using the same Bible that everybody now would say most people would say slavery's wrong to say slavery was all right, right? Like it's fucking insane. The same way that they fucking stoned people for, sex out of wedlock. But now they would say, oh, no, that's not what we're about. Love. Wild. Matthew Pearson of Tampa Bay, Florida, is listed on the initial filings of the Yellow Dog PAC, a Florida OGC chapter. Pearson is a writer for two Christian nationalist publications, American Reformer and TruthScript, where he has praised a book that says Christians should be anti-gay and commended the social theories of Nazi jurist Carl Schmitt. The OGC Substack reflects the broader preoccupations of his members, a mix of far-right causes and racist politics. They include neo-Confederate pleas for the redemption of Confederate symbols and Confederate cause, and a laudatory discussion of the 1967 documentary of post-colonial Africa, Adio, which film critic Roger Ebert once called a brutal, dishonest, racist film. There are claims that white evangelical Christians are the West's most hated minority, and a reproduced Dave Green speech in which he characterizes Jewish Talmudic law as an attempt to trick God and tells his audience that they and the Jewish community are on the opposite ends of his age's struggle. Damn. OGC, I guess we'll be looking out for that. Man who vowed to release Epstein files berates idiots for believing there are Epstein files. I wanted to see some more clips. Even Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council says the Trump administration handling of the issues is making him suspicious.
I think this has taken on a much bigger life than it needed to. I mean, because, like me, I'm not really paying attention to the Epstein files. I mean, so the guy was a pervert. He was abused.
Oh, that's what we were just talking about. I didn't know they started the Magnolia Network for having a gay couple and their kids in the new show, Back to the Frontier. The network is Chip and Joanna Gaines, and they have done their series of renovating. I know the renovating homes part. I've seen them do that, the Chip and Joanna Gaines. But that's what that guy was. He was calling him a Christian or a satanic Trojan horse.
I think this has taken on a much bigger life than it needed to. I mean, because, like me, I'm not really paying attention to the Epstein files. I mean, so the guy was a pervert. He was abusing children. He went to jail, supposedly killed himself. But now when people have the ability to release the records, they're not releasing them. It makes me suspicious. And now I'm paying attention to it. I think this has taken on.
He was joking about cornhole being like code word for sex or something.
Problem here. One problem with the president's position. It turns out his supporters did indeed take the story hook, line, and sinker because Donald Trump was the one fishing with that story throughout the presidential campaign. The president is the one who made Epstein the story. And quite frankly, what happened?
He kicked it all off with retweeting that Hillary Clinton did it. That was part of the Clinton. That was one of the first really crazy tweets out there, like really conspiracy crazy tweets. Epstein died. He retweeted it and put at the bottom hashtag Clinton murder list or Clinton kill list or whatever.
Today is a slap in the face to conservatives, many of whom feel humiliated and, quite frankly, screwed over. Well, the president telling reporters in the Oval Office that he's lost faith in certain people within the MAGA movement because they were duped by the Democrats. Funny, because that's, quite frankly, what a lot of MAGA leaders are saying right now about the White House. Well, there's just one problem here.
What's the point of this? We got Trump in the office. For those of you going like, what's the point of this? We got Trump in the office. Okay, listen, Trump is not a savior. He's a tourniquet. And if we don't figure this out in the next 4 years, you'll get Gavin Newsom or AOC as a president in 2028. So, it's not time to, celebrate and, ease off the gas and say, well, we got an advocate now in the White House. It's the time to drive the enemy all the way out of the land. Put the gas all the way down. And remember that we have a culture heart sickness problem in this country, and the mean tweeting orange man who's doing some really cool stuff right now, he's not going to solve all that. He can hold back.
I couldn't understand being a Christian and voting Trump. The things don't align, but much less talking about Trump from the pulpit and saying he's doing some really cool things right now. No fucking way, dude.
All the way down. And remember that we have a culture heart sickness problem in this country, and the mean tweeting orange man who's doing some really cool stuff right now, he's not going to solve all that. He can hold back some of the wickedness, and that's really good. So that the church can remember her spiritual obligation and mantle to hold the line on all of those issues where God has put you to have dominion and influence. For those of you going like, what's the point of this? We got Trump in the office. Okay, listen, Trump is not a savior. He's a tourniquet. And if we don't figure this out in the next 4 years, you'll get Gavin Newsom or AOC as a president in 2028.
We're going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard's fucking smoking gun in just a second.
This is a great administration.
Eric Metaxas defends the Trump administration handling of the Epstein files in the most embarrassingly cultish way imaginable. This administration is so great, we don't deserve it. And this is God's mercy to America to give us these heroes.
This is a great administration. This is an administration so great, we don't deserve it. And this is God's mercy to America to give us these heroes. From Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pete Hegseth, down the line, hero after hero after.
Which one was the hero?
After hero. The idea that people would
supposedly it makes it they're going to take down Obama. It's so fucking stupid.
Snipe in this way. I mean, we have every right to expect justice and truth and whatever, but people are saying, well, we haven't had arrests, therefore they're dragging their feet. I mean, I get that, but at some point you have to really trust that Donald Trump does care about what we care about.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, folks, if you think Donald Trump would not do everything he possibly could to crush pedophile sex trafficking, I think you're crazy.
Yeah, I think a lot of this stuff they've basically held in their back pocket and saying we can release this or we can say this or we can claim that when we have like a disaster blow up. And that's what this is. They're throwing everything out that they have in reserve to get people away from the Epstein list. I'm a Christian wife, mother, Republican CrossFitter. Nobody asked. What's this one?
Struck from the
Christian nationalist pastor John McPherson, who is Pete Hegseth's pastor, says empathy is dangerous, empathy is toxic, empathy will align you with hell. He also says that women are especially vulnerable to empathy and that husbands should control who their wives are friends with.
Empathy almost needs to be...
I agree with that. Women are emotional and can't make good decisions. Basically, a few weeks out of every month, what can you trust them to make decisions? I've seen them drive cars before, okay? I'm not fucking around here.
Struck from the Christian vocabulary.
It does.
Empathy is dangerous. Empathy is toxic. Empathy will align you with hell.
Absolutely.
Sympathy, compassion, yes. Empathy, deadly and dangerous. And this will be controversial. Women are especially vulnerable to this.
Absolutely.
In our churches, women will have empathy for...
Women have hormones, so...
The sinner. They'll have empathy for the rebel. They'll have empathy for the toxic sick person who's gossiping and slandering and being bullied by the spiritual authority of the church. And in their empathy, they'll align with...
He speaks about being bullied by the spiritual authority of the church as a good thing. They'll have sympathy for the people that are being bullied by the pastor of the church. Yeah, you shouldn't be bullied by your church.
Bullied by the spiritual authority of the church, and in their empathy, they'll align with those who are misaligned with God. One of the patterns that we've seen in 25 years of church ministry, the most divisive households are those households where there is a loud, aggressive Jezebel spirit wife paired with a weak, passive Ahab beta male. Not ungodly for a man to speak into who his wife is friends with.
Absolutely.
Who she can hang out with.
Who she's following.
Who she listens to. Because a husband and wife have to be united. Now, I'm not chasing Sharon.
And plus, about once every 6 months, you want to run all of her friends off for at least a month or two, because if not, their cycles will sync up and they become more powerful then. Just in bitchiness, not like in like brute strength or nothing. They're not gonna like lift a car, right? They just bitch more. So, got to keep them out of sync.
Around policing her friends because my wife is godly and she wants nothing to do with the ungodly. But I'm telling you, women can be vulnerable to friendships and history and whatever, and it's a husband's job to go, babe, let's stay on the same page here. We don't participate in, spread, have ears for gossip or slander, and that person regularly does that. I've been following this president's... I explicitly support what this president's doing. And I've been following this president's administration closely. I haven't yet to read or hear one thing said or done as a Christian pastor that my heart doesn't leap and rejoice for. I'd go further. I believe every Christian pastor has a moral obligation to stand with this administration, because this administration, as far as we can tell so far, in everything they have done, and I care about action, and everything they have done, are aligning themselves with the moral law of God. And if we can't stand and support that, we just have our head so far in the sand that we're...
That's so scary. Christians have a moral obligation. You must stand with Trump because everything they've done has been godly. I'm the one to tell you, I'm the pastor, right? I'm in charge. And that's a huge group of people that believe like this.
As far as we can tell so far, in everything they have done, and I care about action, and everything they have done, are aligning themselves with the moral law of God. And if we can't stand and support that, we just have our head so far in the sand.
That's Hegseth's pastor, dude. Included gay dads on their new TV show where families live off grid like it's 1880. The backlash from conservative Christians is so overblown and so predictable. Evangelicals lose their mind after Chip and Joanna Gaines cast a gay couple on their show. Me, while the internet bullies me for being Christian conservative mom. They're so cringy.
If you're not scared, then send this to the person you would love to be in heaven with one day with Jesus, to go on heavenly hikes in a heavenly forest, to bend down and get heavenly water from a heavenly creek with Jesus, and then
I thought he was going to say get heavenly head.
end the day at a dinner table with all your favorite Bible characters, eating the best food you've ever eaten, asking all the questions you can ask with the person that you send this to. If you're not scared,
All right, let's talk about Tulsi Gabbard's smoking gun. I think everybody knows now, unless you're just tuning it out, right? Unless you're just tuning it out because of who you support politically. Russia in 2016, probably even before that, right? But at least in 2016, 2020, and 2024, Russia was trying to influence our elections. Probably so was China and India and other large countries too. But I don't think you can deny that Russia was trying to influence our elections, especially in 2016. You guys remember the WikiLeaks and all this shit that was going on then with Russia? They were heavily involved in trying to influence our elections. They had gigantic troll farms. They were spreading misinformation. A lot of the stuff that was coming out negative about Hillary was just made up, and it came from Russian sources that pretended to be American. Now, no one has any evidence or has claimed to have any evidence that Russians changed the vote. Like they hacked our voting machines and put in more votes for Trump, or flipped people's votes, or found people that didn't vote and made them vote for Trump by hacking, or changed the tallies, or changed the percentages, or changed the numbers, or did anything with the actual votes. That wasn't their goal. Their goal was to get Trump elected by destroying any chance Hillary had on social media and building Trump's cult for him. Okay? Now, the big question about that was Trump involved in it? Did he know about this? Did he approve this plan? Did he pay for it? Did he ask for it? Did he promise something in return? But everybody knows that Russia has been trying to influence our elections, especially in 2016. And by trying to influence our elections, we do not mean they hacked the voting machines and changed people's votes, or added votes, or took away votes. No one's saying that. And no one has been, okay? No one has been saying that. No one's like, Vladimir Putin put 2 million votes in for Trump or some shit, right? Tulsi Gabbard claims that there is a conspiracy, the Russia conspiracy, that she has documents to prove that it happened and that Obama was behind it, because she has documents that say Russia did not change the outcome of the election. They didn't have the ability to hack the machines. They couldn't change votes. They didn't vote. But it also says that they did spread misinformation, try to get in the minds of people, try to subvert people, and spread all this bullshit and support for Trump. So I'm going to read this. For immediate release. New evidence, Obama administration conspiracy to subvert President Trump's 2016 victory and presidency. On Friday, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, revealed overwhelming evidence that demonstrates how, after President Trump won the 2016 election against Hillary Clinton, President Obama and his National Security Cabinet members manufactured and politicized intelligence to lay the groundwork for what was essentially a years-long coup against President Trump. In the months leading up to November 2016 election, the intelligence community, I see, consistently assessed Russia is probably not trying to influence the election by cyber means. On December 7th, 2016, after the election, talking points were prepared for DNI James Clapper, stating, foreign adversaries did not use cyber attacks on election infrastructure to alter the U.S. presidential election outcome. What would election infrastructure be? Would that be like Facebook and troll farms? Would that be misinformation about Hillary and conspiracies and this, that? Would that be that? No, election infrastructure is the voting machines, the talliers, the tallying machines, the way that we submit those tallies. On December 9th, 2016, President Obama's White House gathered top National Security Council principals for a meeting that included James Capper, John Brennan, Susan Rice, John Kerry, Loretta Lynch, Andrew McCabe, and others to discuss Russia. After the meeting, DNI Clapper's executive assistant sent an email to IC leaders tasking them with creating a new IC assessment per the president's request that details the tools Moscow used and actions it took to influence the 2016 election. It went on to say, ODNI will lead this effort with participation from the CIA, FBI, NSA, and DHS. This was like big news. Like Russia helped Trump win the election. Maybe he didn't know about it, but they did, especially the WikiLeaks and all that shit that was going on, right? That was out there, obvious, out in the open. Trump's like, Russia, Putin, if you have Hillary's emails, release them. I want to see them. Like in his speeches and shit. Like, of course, it's going to be investigated. Obama officials leaked false statements to the media, including the Washington Post claiming Russia had attempted through cyber means to interfere in, if not actively influence, the outcome of an election. That's true. They used cyber means to interfere in, if not actively influence, the outcome of an election. That's true. That's not a false statement. On January 6, 2017, new intelligence community assessment was released that directly contradicted the IC's assessments that were made throughout the previous 6 months. After months of investigation into this matter, the facts reveal this new assessment was based on information that was known by those involved to be manufactured, i.e. the Steele dossier, or deemed as not credible. This was politicized intelligence that was used as the basis for countless smears seeking to delegitimize President Trump's victory. The years-long Mueller investigation, Mueller found all kinds of fucking connections from Trump's team to Russia. They didn't make up anything. The Mueller investigation was valid. Two congressional impeachments, high-level officials being investigated, arrested, and thrown in jail, heightened U.S.-Russia tensions, and more. Quote, the issue I am raising is not a partisan issue. It is one that concerns every American. The information we are releasing today clearly shows there was a treasonous conspiracy in 2016 committed by officials at the highest level of our government. Their goal was to subvert the will of the American people and enact what was essentially a years-long coup with the objective of trying to usurp the president from fulfilling the mandate bestowed upon him by the American people. Their egregious abuse of power and blatant rejection of our Constitution threatens the very foundation and integrity of our democratic republic. No matter how powerful every person involved in this conspiracy must be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law to ensure nothing like this ever happens again. The American people's faith and trust in our democratic republic, and therefore the future of our nation, depends on it. Who destroyed half of America's trust in the election system? Was that Obama? As such, I am providing all documents to the Department of Justice to deliver the accountability that President Trump and his family and the American people deserve. No one is going to be fucking thrown in jail over this, you fucking lying bitch. And by the way, isn't it interesting that the one who has all the ties to Russia, who's been a Russian shill for years, that regularly defends Russia, that had to answer all that in front of Congress, and all that's the one that comes out and says Russia didn't do nothing, and this strained our ties with Russia. Trump won, and the Mueller investigation was silly, even though it led to all these convictions. They're showing headlines. Headlines say Russian hackers acted to aid Trump in election. U.S. says. True. U.S. officials, Putin personally involved in U.S. election hack. That is true. He did hack the election system like in Illinois and Alaska and somewhere else. They probably just stole data, but they couldn't change votes. Secret CIA assessment says Russia was trying to help Trump win the White House. True. Like, this is supposed to take away from Trump being on the Epstein list, but it's nothing that we didn't know already. I don't even understand what the fucking claim is. Again, no one claimed they changed votes. No one. What they did was influence a gigantic group of people through social media. Even the social media platforms came out and said, we fucked up. We fucked up. They spent so much money running ads and shit from foreign countries on political ads and spreading misinformation and saying Hillary was a clone and she had a stroke and she's got a body double. This is the entire investigation. Like, none of this makes any fucking sense. She even shares this in case you need it in a picture format. It's the creation of the Russian hoax. Real intel assessment says Russia and criminal actors did not impact recent U.S. election results by conducting cyber attacks on infrastructure. On voting infrastructure. We know that. They did hack like an Illinois voter database, and they stole names, phone numbers, and addresses of voters and what they're registered as. I think they did the same thing in Alaska, but they weren't able to vote. Then it says, Donald Trump wins the 2016 election. December 8th, POTUS briefing pulled. IC pulls product that contradicts Russia hoax narrative. December 9th, secret Russia meeting. Obama officials meet to plan Russian hoax. By the way, secret Russia meeting sounds like what Donald Trump's kids did when they met with people they believed to be Russian spies with dirt on Hillary Clinton, but whatever. December 9th, Obama order. IC begins outlining new assessments to claim election was hacked. Deep state leaks. Obama officials use their media propaganda arm to spread fake news. Secret CIA assessment says Russia was trying to help Trump win the White House. True. Russian actors acted to aid Trump in election. U.S. says true. U.S. officials, Putin personally involved in U.S. election. By the way, I've seen debates with MAGA people like Trump supporters that they would even admit this. They would even say, oh, yeah, like the way they released the hacks and the October surprise and the WikiLeaks, and Trump probably shouldn't be in his speeches saying, Putin, if you got the emails, release them. And then he does, stuff like that. Like, Russia wanted Trump to win, and they helped Trump win. But their argument is that Trump didn't ask for it. It wasn't his choice. He wasn't even president at the time. He can't stop Russia from doing this. Even MAGA used to admit that, but, as soon as they get new commands, they believe something completely different. So here we are. Fake weaponized assessment. Suppressed prior intelligence showing that Russia lacked intent and capability to hack the 2016 election. They did. They lacked intent and capability to change votes, to add votes, to remove votes, to flip votes. They didn't to share memes. Social media Russian bots and Fox News did to our parents what they were always afraid like MTV and the internet would do to us. It fucking brainwashed them. It changed them into different people. And this is a giant nothing burger. They keep calling it the smoking gun. Nothing fucking happened. What do you mean a smoking gun? We all knew this shit already. God damn. Shit's stupid. Spread any type of bullshit, fake information, whatever you want to do, as long as it gets people to stop talking about the Epstein list. All right, you want to see a story close to home? This one's a little bit close. This one's close to home here. This was at my old bank. It's called Eastman Credit Union in Johnson City, Tennessee. This is called privacy glass. This is glass that you can't like read documents through, that you can't technically identify somebody through, right? You can see, obviously you can see shapes, you can see outlines, you can see what people are doing. This is not opaque. You can still see through it. You can still tell what people are doing. Apparently, this is how you get lower interest rates.
Well, shit. What are y'all doing? Screwing? Well, shit. What are y'all doing? Screwing?
My sister Jennifer, I don't know if she would say this about herself, but my sister Jennifer absolutely fucking loves gossip. Okay? So she always knows what's going on. She's always part of it. Here's where I saw it on Facebook. It's just music with that one, but it's a little bit longer. More thrust. So I sent this to my sister, and I said, that's at Eastman Credit Union, Johnson City. She said, oh my goodness. I said, weird, isn't it? 14 minutes. 14 minutes. Like that time that you were checking out the bump on my leg, Mariah. 14 minutes after I sent my sister this video, she sends me back a screenshot of a text message she had, and she's already got the woman's name. Someone says, you talking about about one more crazy mess. They fired her on Monday, and nobody knew what it was about. You may know her. She was our assistant branch manager at Burroughs Drive. Her name is blank blank. Then someone said, who is the guy? And they respond, I'm not sure, but I know it will come out. We are still blown away by it. And then someone says, I wonder if he worked there too. She had the name 14 minutes later. That's some good investigative work. Who is this? Robbie Roadsteamer? Stormin' Charlie Kirk as an alligator.
Russell, great to see you. Grateful to be here.
Before we start, I'm not Gary the Guantanamo Gator. Charlie, you've been avoiding debating.
Thank you.
Don't touch me, though.
I'm Gary the Guantanamo Gator.
This is important. It's the Guantanamo Gator. Charlie, I want to follow up on some of the Guantanamo Gators questions. Keep talking, this is good.
Why won't you debate me, Charlie?
And why don't you debate it?
Charlie, you and me, in a steel cage SummerSlam.
He's perfectly reasonable. Debate him now. Why do you keep...
Trump was on the Jeffrey and Epstein plane. Trump was on the Jeffrey Epstein.
Now,
I love Robbie Roadsteamer.
Guantanamo Gator.
He's just so reasonable. We should have kept the conversation going.
God, that mouth, dude. And the faces he makes with his gums. Does he feel like a shapeshifter wearing like human flesh to anybody else? Charlie Kirk? Like there's something that went in through his mouth and then turned back around and operated a human body. And it's always just the edge of coming back out. Like, what the fuck is happening? It looks like a bad Photoshop. It looks like a smaller entity is wearing this suit, and that's a smaller being's teeth. They're not the right size for his mouth. Oh, that's pretty funny. Very strange. Very strange. I just saw a video. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Give me just a second. By the way, the more I've been thinking about it, anybody that joined the military and had a decent time, right? That like, you know, that would brag about like, hey, you know, I didn't like this, didn't like that, but, you know, we got paid, you had a job, you knew what you had to do, housing, medical, education, all that stuff. They're a fan of socialism. That's what it is, right? You have like a rank structure, guaranteed pay. Everybody basically makes the same on your rank structure. You got universal housing, universal health care, universal education. All that's included. Like they're basically socialist, if not communist. Everything's centrally planned, right? You don't have to worry about anything changing or anything going anywhere. Oh shit, it's not on here. There was a video of Tucker Carlson basically talking about like taxes and income and shit like that. I don't think that I've got it, that I'll have it saved though. It's all right. We're about to move on to something else anyways. I think he was talking to Charlie Kirk at that event is the reason it reminded me of it. All right, here we go.
Security advisor back when Donald Trump named Michael Waltz as his national security advisor back in January. He's not in that job anymore, of course. Waltz had to leave his safe Republican congressional seat in Florida. Half a year later, Waltz is out of the administration. His old House district is now represented by the legislator in this video.
Any type of facilitation. That was, you're done too. Next, 30 seconds. 30 seconds to discuss. Yep. Well, yeah. Come on up. Enjoy your terrorist rag. Come on, let's go. What your next?
Your terrorist rag. Enjoy your terrorist rag. We've seen some of these before.
What's your name? I'm the chairman. I can say what I want. If you don't like it, you can leave.
The guy calling that a terrorist rag is Randy Fine. He's a Trump-endorsed, extremely online far-right troll who has spent his short time in Congress launching a similar barrage of sort of predictably disgusting and bigoted statements. Earlier this week, when Congresswoman Ilhan Omar criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Fine responded on social media telling her, quote, "I'm sure it is difficult to see us welcome the killer of so many of your fellow Muslim terrorists." When Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries demanded Fine apologize, he wrote, quote, "The Hamas caucus is upset. Boo-hoo." Fine has repeatedly called Omar and her colleague Rashida Tlaib and New York mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani Muslim terrorists. He said, quote,
"We have a Muslim problem in America. Ilhan Omar should go back where she came from, deport them all. Jihadi Jeffries and his Hamas caucus. The Hebrew hammer is coming."
Mamdani would do New York City what Khomeini and Khamenei did to Tehran. We cannot let radical Muslims turn America into a Shiite caliphate. He's also said protesters blocking roads is an act of terror. Quote, "In Florida, I helped to pass a bill to allow you to run them over. Now I'm taking it national. The Thump Thump Act is coming." There are many, many, many more disgusting, bigoted, Islamophobic, particularly statements he's made. I can't read to you. Democrats are rightly calling out Fine's bigotry, but Republicans seem to basically normalize this. Like this, there really was a time in my lifetime when this would be a scandal. And it's not a scandal anymore. It's a selling point. And sometimes you just really have to just take a step back to take in how degraded things have gotten. Brendan Buck worked in communications for House Speakers John Boehner and Paul Ryan. Alex Wagner is a senior political analyst for MSNBC, and they both join me now. Brendan, let me ask you, do you think, I feel like 15 years ago, 16 years ago, this calling a member of Congress a Muslim terrorist would be a scandal. There'd be like calls to deal with it and things like that. But am I wrong about that?
No, I mean, this should be a record scratch moment. It's not. I mean, look, I worked for two speakers. There were plenty of times where a speaker had to maybe even just quietly bring a member in and kind of remind them of what their expectations are around here and things we do and don't do. I'm just not sure that Mike Johnson or anybody in the leadership is really in a position to be able to do that right now. Look, I don't want you to. I sincerely don't believe that he sees this as, or most Republicans up there should see this as a selling point. Maybe this does something for him online. I imagine the reaction from most of their members is ranging from gross to that's really inconvenient for me. I don't think any of them are cheering for it, but none of them are probably in a position where they can actually do or say anything about it, because there's really only one speed right now, and that's you're on the attack all the time, and anybody who shows weakness is somehow aiding and abetting the opponent here, and they're just not going to be willing to do that. So yeah, they're going to look the other way. This should be a layup. Like Kevin McCarthy basically ran Steve King out of Congress for some of the things that he said. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, but look where we're at now with the MAGA Republicans.
That is the way that it used to be. It's just not anymore.
Alex, what do you think?
This is a guy that in Florida, Governor DeSantis has called someone who repels people, but he also happens to be one of the architects of the Don't Say Gay Act and the Stop Woke Act, which are now Republican orthodoxy. I mean, I got to say, Chris, I thought about his kind of anti-Muslim, which is being generous, tirade against Ilhan Omar in the context of his broader, I guess we'll say, struggle against what he calls anti-Semitism. This is happening in the context of like Elon Musk's Nazi Grok AI chatbot going out there and
Mecca Hitler.
Spewing hate speech. It has been fed that hate speech because conservatives demanded a information-free free speech platform, which Elon Musk created for them. And where, I ask, is Randy Fine in the context of that fight against anti-Semitism? He's nowhere, because it's not about anti-Semitism. It's not about principle. It's a completely tribal fight, us versus them, and that's the essential battle here. It's cloaked in anti-Semitism. It's cloaked in a sort of religious fervor, but it's truly about owning the libs. That's all it is, in the cruelest, basest way possible, which is, and by the way, dovetails with the agenda of Stop Woke and Don't Say Gay. This is all about a sort of tribal groupthink, and he's been involved in all of it. And I don't think we should think of that as a coincidence.
Let me ask you this, Rouse. I want to follow up with you, and then I'll come back to you, Brendan. One of the things I think that they've unlocked on the right is that if there aren't people inside your own party calling something into question, it goes away as a scandal. Like, the only logs that can get thrown to a fire of a scandal are like George Santos, right? Like, if people on your own side are calling for, then it is scandal. But if you keep everyone together, no matter what, it goes away. I don't think Democrats have sort of figured that out, nor maybe should they. But that does seem like part of the dynamic here.
Totally. If you don't have someone that sort of bucks the trend and someone who raises the flag and says this isn't okay from a corner that isn't normally ringing the alarm bell, then it goes by without passage. And I do think when Randy Fine came to Congress,
no one gives a fuck. They just want to keep their heads down and keep Trump happy.
Expectation was a real fighter's
and not piss off Elon.
To Washington, right? This is part of the brand, and it's seen as MAGA. This is the DNA of MAGAism: fight, fight, fight. I mean, I don't know, Brendan. I mean, I respect everything Brendan has to say about Congress, but I don't know that there isn't some kind of lust for more of this attitude, which is, again, tribalism at all costs.
Well, there's a question, right, Brendan, if the lust for that attitude, and I think there is lust for this attitude, if it comes from the voters in the primaries, right, or it comes from I'm not necessarily sure where it comes from. It does seem like it's coming in some ways from voters in low turnout primaries. I'm not sure if it's coming from somewhere else. It's also coming from the culture.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, this was a candidate, at least, that people saw a lot of red flags with. I mean, let's remember, this was a person we actually feared was going to lose in a ruby red seat in Florida. He ended up winning somewhat comfortably, but there was a lot of concern about his ability to actually win that seat. So I do still believe, again, that he is a bit of an outlier here. He is not sort of your
fucking Florida, am I right?
As we sort of paint them as all sort of nuts. But the problem,
I would never say. I did like the Elon post where he's like, "It sucks, Epstein killed himself before he found out the whole thing was a hoax."
Randy Fine is a median House Republican, to be clear.
Okay, I appreciate that. I mean, look, we've been having this back and forth now for like 6 years.
You want to know the bad part? Usually stuff like this becomes more and more and more and more normalized and more and more accepted until a catastrophic violent event happens. Somebody shows up and kills, hundreds of these types of people that they're going after. And then suddenly the world resets and says, okay, well, we can't be like that anymore. It usually doesn't go away on its own.
throwing censures back and forth at people. And at some point, you know, if you're engaging in this, you are doing a censure because you want to take the moral high ground, right? You're censuring Ilhan Omar because you think she has said something so repugnant. You would think then that you would be in a position where if one of your members says something like that, you are going to self-police. But if you're not self-policing your own side, this is all just sort of a partisan game where, you know, you're playing gotcha with whoever said the next thing, because the consequences matter less and less. It used to be a big deal if you got censured. Well, now it's something that's sort of like a badge of honor. So of course it hasn't stopped.
This, I think, is the thing, the broader thing that I think we're seeing is the degradation of the notion of taboo or offense or anything or scandal, just sort of omnidirectionally in a way that I think is probably not for the best of the society. But we'll take that up another day. Brendan Buck and Alex Wagner, thank you both. Appreciate it.
He's got worse comments. Hold on. Here's a good one.
Congressman Randy Fine of Florida, and he said this the other day on Fox News last week, quote, "In World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here in Gaza. There is something deeply wrong with this culture, and it needs to be defeated. So we're going to nuke Gaza because of its culture. We're going to kill everybody because we don't like the culture," which, by the way, lots of Christians in Gaza.
Makes sense.
Muslims in Gaza.
Just innocent people in Gaza of all kinds.
Well, of course, but like to say there's some like Gazan culture that's cohesive, it's like, what? But we're going to kill them all because we don't like their culture. And so I didn't believe that was real. I didn't really think he was a member of Congress. So I texted a friend of mine in Congress, is this really a member of Congress? Yes. I don't even know what to say to that, but that, first of all, it's evil, but how can you say something like that and not get expelled from Congress? How can that person be a member of the Republican Party? Congressman Randy.
Because the Republican Party is all those fucking people, dude.
The fact of the matter is the Palestinian cause is an evil one.
Yeah, and Congressman, there is a ceasefire deal on the table right now that the White House is hoping both Israel and Hamas will sign on to. Does this shooting change anything when it comes to the course of the war or the negotiations to end it?
Well, I think it speaks to the importance of the only end of the conflict is complete and total surrender by those who support Muslim terror. In World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional surrender.
By the way, Older Millennial did a video today. I told you about his live stream where he was arguing with people that the bombs that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not nuclear weapons. So he does a video today that says that liberal governance is worse for a community or for a city than nuclear or than weapons of mass destruction. I think is what he called them. Something like that. And he's like, look at Nagasaki and Hiroshima and how good they're doing. Now look at the cities that only have Democrats elected since the 40s or 50s or 60s. He's like, look how bad they're doing. Look at these homeless people. Like, what the fuck?
That needs to be the same here. There is something deeply, deeply wrong with this culture, and it needs to be defeated.
We need to defeat their culture. We need to defeat their culture.
I know you were well aware of Iran's influence on groups, terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah. In an interview, though, last month, you said this when asked about how to treat Gaza.
In World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here. There is something deeply, deeply wrong with this culture, and it needs to be defeated.
Did you really mean to say that the U.S. should use nuclear weapons against a people because there's something wrong with their culture?
Of course not. What I was saying is that we didn't negotiate.
Well, that's exactly what he said.
Evil in World War II. We defeated the Germans. We defeated the Japanese using any means that were necessary. And the same needs to be done in Gaza. Nuking Gaza would be a terrible idea. The fallout would drift into Israel. It would kill the hostages. The point that I was making was,
but you're not worried about it killing, for example, women and children in Gaza who, the innocents?
I think war is a messy thing, and I think that when you defeat,
it is messy. War is messy. I forgot about
Israel cannot live next to a country that a huge percentage of the people wish to destroy it all of the time. They need to do whatever is necessary, and I don't know what those things are, in order to get unconditional surrender in Gaza. And I think that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, you brought up nuking them, though. So
no, I didn't bring up. I did not bring up nuking them.
You literally
I talked about. That's not what I said. No.
You said the same thing should be done.
In terms of getting, that is taking me out of context. I said, in the same way we did what was necessary to get Japan to unconditionally surrender, they need to do the same thing over there, no matter what that is. I don't know what those tools are, but it took us nuking Japan not once but twice in order to get them to unconditionally surrender, and it's estimated that saved 1 million American lives in the process. My point is, we didn't sit down and go, oh no, civilians might die, let's not get Japan to surrender. I believe the Palestinianism in Gaza is on a level of evil that we saw in Japan and we saw in Germany back in World War II, and I believe Israel needs to do what's necessary to...
What a way to fucking dance around the question, huh?
Defeat it.
I didn't say that. I just said it.
Congressman, a lot of people do not agree with that word evil for all Palestinians, but I should point that out. Congressman Randy Fine, thank you so much. John.
All right. I did find that's Randy Fine. We'll be watching Randy Fine. Here's what I was trying to say earlier about the grand jury stuff, but I didn't do a great job.
Donald Trump gets caught trying to con his supporters. It's not that hard when you tweet out your plans. This is just another day. With the pressure mounting on Donald Trump to release everything he's got on his former travel companion, this morning our president made a bold move.
President Trump now says he's authorizing the release of some materials from the investigation of the convicted sex offender. In a post on social media, Mr. Trump says he's directed Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony.
How about that? Finally giving the people what they haven't been begging for all along. I'm simply shocked that the guy who peddled overpriced gold footwear would treat his supporters like that. But surely, Pam Bondi, atop an independent agency, would see through the games being played by Trump.
Bondi quick to respond. President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts.
Besides being a pathetic attempt to quell the public outcry, it's also so icky to watch these two communicate this way. It's like one step below letting your dad caress you in public. To be clear here, the grand jury transcripts are not only not the client list, but they're protected by grand jury secrecy, and a federal judge can only lift that...
You're still not getting the list that you asked for.
...secrecy for very limited and specific reasons. Trump and Bondi are well aware of this law, the same way that RFK is well aware of laws telling you where you can't swim, yet continues to proudly bathe in bacteria. This move by Trump and Bondi is nothing but a blatant attempt to call off the dogs, and one of those dogs definitely got the message.
President Donald Trump has authorized Pam Bondi in a historic way to show a commitment to transparency and what he has said this entire week. And I think we should say, at this particular time, this...
Not to mention it might take months, potentially years to have this stuff unsealed.
...is a massive move. It is a major...
And then what all's redacted after that?
That is deserving of gratitude and of thanks. He has earned one of my favorite words in the English language.
I think he looks so fucking bad right now. And the worst thing he could be doing is attacking the Wall Street Journal for their story saying, hey, we heard this, it was told to us that this letter was from Trump. He says it isn't. It might not be. We can't confirm it. We can't do anything. He's like, I'll sue their asses off like I sue everybody else. That's such a bad look.
He has earned our confidence.
Are you sure your favorite word isn't blowjob? I mean, my God, I'm surprised Charlie could even get those words out, considering his mouth was stuffed with Trump's cock and balls. Now, one factor that might be contributing to Trump's latest attempt at making the story go away is a damning Wall Street Journal article published last night.
The article claims Trump sent Epstein a bawdy letter for his 50th birthday, which allegedly included a drawing of a naked woman.
To be fair, getting Epstein a birthday gift is a challenge. You know the old saying, what do you get the pedophile who already has everything? Well, Trump came out thumbs a-blazing to tell the world that this big birthday card was a bunch of BS.
Now let me just read to you the president's denial. The Wall Street Journal printed a fake letter, supposedly to Epstein. These are not my words, not the way I talk. Also, I don't draw pictures.
Sorry, but no, everybody draws pictures. Everybody. And sure, it might just be aimless scribble-scrabbles on napkins or some terrible doodles of buildings and bridges, which, wouldn't you know it, are pictures that were...
Not body. Baldy. B-A-W-D-Y. Baldy.
Drawn by Donald Trump himself. Does this man ever have a pause button on his brain before he tweets something out? There's only a few possibilities here.
Atsuko's thought she got a little joke all to herself there.
Either the president is once again lying his face off, or he's going...
Body means like related to like sex, like a sexual like joke or comedy.
Serious cognitive decline, or maybe he's telling the truth and all of those pictures were actually drawn by... AutoPan. Well, Whatever the answer, you know Trump's ride or die boys always have his back.
The president and I talked about that ridiculous allegation this morning. He said it's patently absurd. He's never drawn such a picture. He's never thought of drawing such a picture.
Thank heaven for that, because for Mike Johnson, even the thought that Donald Trump thought about drawing naked women could be grounds to alert his son that his mind had drifted into the zone of sin. Now, some Republicans have signed on to this total facade of transparency, or this idea that the whole Epstein story is a nothing burger. Some brave souls on the right continue to speak out.
I think the time has come for the administration to release all of the files. I know of no reason why this administration, once the victims' names are protected, should not release all the files on Jeffrey Epstein.
You know of no reason? Not one? Here's a hint. You stood next to him for 4 years, and then he rallied behind the idea that your necktie should be traded out for a noose. Does anybody else want to push back on our current president?
I have to disagree with the president. I don't think human trafficking of young teenage girls being exploited by billionaires on a private island is boring.
So you think it's exciting? Slow your roll there, Tillis. I know you're retiring from Congress, but you might want to tamp down your description of just how not boring sex trafficking is. Now, once again, this president and his administration are trying to pull a fast one on their supporters and con the entire world as a whole. Trump and Bondi are giving their base exactly what they never asked for. They know what the base wants, the client list, which, if you recall, Bondi said was
sitting on my desk right now.
So close, yet so far away, which is why they're going this route of asking the judge to release grand jury transcripts. This way, if it doesn't get released, they can pin it on the communist Marxist judge and claim that they did everything they could. This is a
It's going to be hard for the judge to release that. That's why grand juries are protected the way they are, right?
hollow promise. You know, like when you tell someone that you'll be best friends forever. The reality is that promising one thing and then delivering something else completely different only makes Trump seem even more evasive. Let's remember how we got here. The president riled up his base on the campaign trail, vowing to uncover every single nefarious detail that the deep state was diligently covering up, and his base took that baton and ran with it.
Why do they want to make this Jeffrey Epstein story go away so bad? Because the people in charge of this global cabal of idiots out there trying to hide the truth don't want you to hear about this story and have the power.
Jen and Jason, about your 5 6-packs. So good to see you live and covering this absolute shit show. Thank you very much. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Jen and Jason.
Power to censor it.
Yeah, now where do I sign up to join this prestigious cabal of idiots? But now, Trump being the egomaniac that he is, assumed that he could simply slip one by his supporters and that everybody would be satisfied with a memo that basically said, oh, nothing to see here. But here's the problem. When you've trained an army to call bullshit, they start calling it on you. So now Trump is trying to act like...
That's what he's done, is he's taught them to call everything out, blame it on Democrats, pedophiles, whatever, right? The deep state. And now he's acting like those people.
He's relenting and giving his people what they want, but once again, he's just trying to...
He called them weaklings. If you're still talking about this and you believed the fake Obama fucking Epstein list, you're weaklings. You're no longer a fan of mine.
On them. And every time he doesn't just release the thing he promised to release, the more suspicious this whole thing becomes. This is like... if a guy comes home from work to his wife and there's a noise in the closet and he's like, who's in the closet? And she's like, there's nobody in the bathroom. And the guy's like, right, but who's in the closet? And she's like, there's no one in the kitchen. And the guy's like, right, but who's in the closet? And she's like, there's no one in the living room. Eventually it becomes clear that she's not playing Coldplay around the house because it's relaxing. But also, use your brains. Giving every answer except the one we're asking for leads us all to one very obvious conclusion, that Trump is clearly hiding something. The fact is, we are looking at the perfect picture of a man who, with every half measure and every botched refusal to release the Epstein list, only looks more suspicious and further solidifies his utter contempt for his supporters. And if some of his most ardent supporters don't like that picture, well, I'm sure Trump could draw you a new one.
Ooh. Ooh. And then I got one Karen video before Mariah makes me take my toys and go home. You ever seen a pool Karen? Watch. This video is wild, dude. I've watched it a couple times. Like, what the fuck is going on? All right, just watch. Like, what just happened? She tried to tear down the fence just by bending it back and forth. Then she takes a break. What? What now? Don't do it. Oh. The child's pool she's walking through.
Yeah, okay. Just get in real fast. No, I can't do it.
And she was going to pop the pool. It sounded like there was a fountain or something running, and they unplugged it. She wanted to unplug it. Then she was going to pop the pool, and she says, no, I can't do it. But now she's trapped. And she just keeps what type of lunatic steps directly underwater like that? Like, she didn't even try to like avoid it to keep her shoes dry. She's like, splash, splash. Now look at this. She tries to steal the chair to get out of the fence.
You gotta get in how you get out. You gotta get in how you get out. Don't fucking touch it.
You got to get in how you get out is what she said.
Get in how you get out. Don't fucking touch it. Come on, brave girl. Come on.
You got keys in your hand. If you want to bust the pool, bust the pool.
Brave girl.
And you're not brave. You're brave.
Part 2? Do we want a part 2, chat?
You're brave. You're brave doing this speech.
I didn't want to say anything, but this is Dr. J. This is Dr. J Banana. She fucking hates pools. I don't know why. She hates water. She loves baths. Hates pools. It's very weird. She wouldn't even watch Finding Nemo because she thought the view from inside the fish tank in the dentist office reminded her too much of being in a pool.
What's wrong with you? Don't you ever wonder why you're the way you are? Huh? Don't you ever wonder why you're the way you are? Don't you want to get better? You want to live your whole life like this? This is like a thrill to you? You know? I don't know. Seems strange to me.
This is the first time Dr. J tried salvia.
You got all that video. And I've got all my video and I got all that first time. You threw that water right over there, coming through like Niagara Falls. And you on the other side. All the video in the world. Tony Jackson.
What is this?
So
stops throwing water at my door when Kathy shows up or when I come out. Something stops throwing water at my door when Kathy shows up or when I come out.
What the big deal is
Oh my God, she's throwing buckets of water over her fence.
about the water. Their drains are clogged. All my neighbors' drains are clogged. And mine isn't. So during the torrential downpours, they will, instead of walking out to the street with it, they should throw it at my back door. Every single storm, which I've become kind of accustomed to. I built a wall to protect myself from the other neighbor that's above me because her drain is never running either. And they used to think that it was, from me. And I'm like, my drain is doing just fine. It just can't take the water from every drain. So I built this wall, and now I'll show you what's going on with my above neighbor in a second here. She's got a little bit. That's my drain.
Dude, the drain drama is my shit now. I'm all for it. Hers drains.
And 1 second. First, we're gonna take a look over at.
Why don't they clean out their drains?
That's her neighbor. There's a pond. You know what? I'm gonna turn this. Here we go. All right, there we go. So look, see, pond, like waves and shit, like ripples. Okay, and mine. So if you're like, what's the big deal about the water? The big deal is they cannot figure out how to get their drains to run, and I can. And I will show you another video of what I've done.
I mean, like, let's even say you can't afford like a plumber or somebody come and look at. Just, have you tried even like taking the case off and like sticking your fucking anything down in there, just trying to pry something out or get like what the fuck?
It took me a while to figure out how to do the thing, but I'll show you in another video how I figured it out. Okay, that's all.
She said she figured hers out.
Bye. So, for those of you wondering what the big deal,
she doesn't stop doing this until she comes outside. And she's going to do it again until she sees her.
All my neighbors' drains are clogged, and mine isn't.
Imagine having enough free time to throw buckets of rainwater as it's falling onto your neighbor's patio. So instead of getting mad at the city or the complex, she's mad at you because your drain works. You have so much self-control. Lord, God knows I'd catch a felony. Anyone else instantly invested in this drain drama? Where can I donate to get more videos and more of the backstory?
Okay, since you're recording this, you haven't done any damage to anything that's yours, except put it on your property.
Third time she came out.
You're a fine one to set boundaries.
Came out while installing the gates. I went into the house the first 2 times. The third time I had my phone. The gates were on my concrete because the first gate was zip tied to my pole. I fell over like that. It fell over like that because I had to get out of her way for the third time. Every project I do out back, it's like this. Constant interruptions of her getting in my face. The grass is touching the gate because she doesn't trim that edge. I cut what comes over with scissors by hand. What? So as far as what's the problem with the pool, it is anything I do, which is why I paid $500 for these, which is a lot for me, but I really felt like I'd finally get some peace and safety. Also, in the past, when one of my cats bolted out the door, I'd have to worry that they'd end up on her property. If they did go on her property, she'd try to hurt them physically. Once she grabbed my cat Henry and took him into her house for about 6 hours. I knew she had him. I did call the police. There was nothing they could do. She let him out at 11 p.m. He was very upset. I was physically sick with stress. So these gates were to remove the I guess the chance of it just ends there, but I guess it removed the chance. Oh, I'm sorry. Remove that worry. Worth every penny. Hashtag Home Depot, hashtag Gates, hashtag are awesome, hashtag peace, hashtag cats, hashtag 215, hashtag Philly, hashtag Philadelphia. So it's not just that the woman has a pool. This woman has a issue with everything this other woman does in her backyard.
This is in my lawn. Are you going to take it out, or shall I take it out? Okay, since you're recording this, you haven't done any damage to anything that's yours, except put it on your property. You're a fine one to set boundaries. This is in my lawn.
Someone says, you're so funny remaining calm while she always blows her lid. She came at my blind cat who likes to walk down to the corner with a weed whacker. The noise scared her so badly, she torqued midair and skittered out in front of a car. The driver stopped in time, almost passed out. But I did have a cup of hot coffee in my hand, which I threw at her. I missed. But just the fact that I finally broke, that she finally got me to react, she raised her arm straight up in the air and spun around, just glorified that she finally got me upset. That's when I knew that all she wants is that, the reaction, to know she moved me away from my peace and happiness. That's why I avoid her and don't engage. She desperately wants that. I cross the street. I put up walls, gates. If she sees me, she's coming at me. I want it to stop. Holy shit.
Okay, look. So I got this Wet n Wild lipstick for like $5. Hold on, wait. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's cool. Changes colors.
To green.
I was hoping that'd be like her explaining what's going on with her neighbor or something. But that looks like it's the only video. How fucking weird, dude. Somebody says, it looks like Dana Carvey is doing too much. You guys remember Dana Carvey? It does. It does kind of look like it. So now you heard her unplug the fountain, right? We all heard the water running. Listen. Or maybe it's on a timer or something, but the fountain's off. In just a second. Dude, she does not even try.
Okay.
Or water hose or whatever it is. She doesn't even try to dodge the pool. She steps right in it immediately. Watch. It's like she couldn't wait to step in the pool. Both feet, dude.
Yeah, okay. Just get in real fast.
What did she say there?
Yeah, okay. Just get in real fast.
I can't tell.
No, I can't do it. You did.
But in sport mode, Karen.
You gotta get in how you get out. You gotta get in how you get out. Don't fucking touch it. Come on, brave girl. Come on, brave girl.
She has to know she can't lift that pool, right? Is that what she was trying to do? Like that would be incredibly hard for me to lift. That's just too much fucking water. A gallon of water weighs like 7 or 8 pounds or some shit.
And you're not brave. You're brave.
She had her keys in her hand, but it wasn't like she was trying to puncture it. She was trying to lift it. It's so weird.
You're brave? You're brave doing this to people? What's wrong with you?
Doing what to people? She's in her own backyard with a privacy fence up and a kiddie pool.
Don't you ever wonder why you're the way you are? Huh? Don't you ever wonder why you're the way you are? Don't you want to get better? You want to live your whole life like this? This is like a thrill to you? You know? I don't know. Seems strange to me. Now, I've got all that video, and I've got all my video, and I've got all that first time you threw that water right over there, coming through like Niagara Falls, and you on the other side. All
that water. Do you think she's draining the pool? Because she said, I've got the video the first time all that water came through like Niagara Falls, and you stand on the other side of it.
the video in the world, Tony injection. Your brain?
Wait, it says she's in the comments giving context on the previous video. Let's see. Thank you for teaching me to be quiet while people act a fool. Took me so long to go. Took me so long to learn to just say nothing and they go away faster. That's not really context, is it? She left a comment, something about the art of war. That fence represents how I'm holding up in life. No clue. Oh my God, you fully cracked me up. Peace is big wealth. Is Larry David mad because you made a little mini paradise to beat the heat? She really is. But there should be some context here, no? It's not in the title. It does say disabled veteran Navy corpsman. Is she a veteran? Somebody said, why is she upset? Is there a part one I missed? Why is she upset about a kiddie pool? I want to see what is going on here. I'm so confused. Seriously, is that what is upsetting her? Oh my God, I would be showing up with food and drinks and asking, can I get an invite? I promise to be quiet. Talk about the pool again. No more comments there. I'm just looking for the tag that says like the creator or author, creator or whatever commented on it. But I don't see shit, dude. I was shocked, truly shocked. Oh, unfortunately I have. I need to see more of this. She absolutely hates her life. Oh, unfortunately I have more. Right, we want to see it. Must not be for me to know. I guess I don't know. I want to fucking know, like, why she's. Were you draining the pool? Was it the fountain thing? What did she mean by Niagara Falls? Did she come onto your property? She says yes. Well, obviously. Why is she angry at you? No reply. Damn it! How many? This got to be such a viral video. There's way too many fucking comments. I'll never get through all of them, but. You'd think they would put this to the top, like if she explained some shit. The likes are letting me down or something. What's going on? What happened? What is going on here? Ma'am, I hope you marched right down to the po-po because what the heck did I just watch? Also, I'm wheezing when she tried to leave. You took the chair. And it says, I did go right to the 39th precinct. So she went to the cops about this. What's she so mad about? What's she upset about? She never answers this thread again, which I'm sure she's overwhelmed by all the comments. When a video goes viral like this, there's no way you can answer them all or even see them all. Might be the best TikTok of all time. Please post more of these videos. I know you have more. I do. I will. People are commenting under her comments asking for like story time or questions, but she doesn't ever reply again. She only replies once. Then she dips the fuck out. I don't want to quit scrolling because in my mind, if I quit scrolling, it's like the very next comment I would have read is it. But damn, I got to be getting close to the bottom. It just keeps loading more of these motherfuckers. What is happening? What's going on? Are there 7 parts? It seems like this goes on for a while. Oh, here we go. Become her best friend and just talk to her nonstop, like nonstop. Tell her about every little moment of your life that you can remember. Don't let her interrupt. Just like nonstop monologue. Do it every day, every time you see her. Complain about anything you can think of. Basically, verbal diarrhea. Knock on her door and start chatting with her. Drive her fucking crazy. Here's the response. I knocked on her door once and tried to open the screen door to put a care package in. She told people I tried to break into her house. The other neighbor down saw me do it and asked what I was doing. I told her. She said, oh, she won't take anything from you. That was the day I realized my kindness, my trying to talk to her like a decent neighbor was being wasted. Someone says, you got to be crazier than her. That's how you win. I like that comment. That could work. That still doesn't explain what's going on with the pool. Surely it's not for like her cats. Like it's for her, right? And to like beat the heat or whatever. But what is the lady so mad about with the pool? She can't even see it because she's got this fake leaves and shit up on the fence. God damn it. Sunken cost fallacy. No, I don't know. Okay, what was the reason? Finally. This was so fucking low. And it has 4,000 likes on it. And it wasn't at the top. Get the fuck out of here. It's been like 15 years of escalating crazy. I had to put walls and fences, front and back. It's anything I do. Today, it was that she believed the pool water would go on her side. I showed her the water was pouring into my drain. Sir, it's been years of this. Weird, nonstop, and nothing is enough of a boundary. The police have done 2 interventions. The Fair Housing did an intervention. The district attorney knows about it. I have years of video. I need assistance. That is insane. She seems mentally unstable. I assume a restraining order wouldn't work, but since she's your neighbor, not gonna lie, when you called her brave girl, I laughed because I know jumping back over hurt. I was shocked when she hurdled it. Going to have to add some height to my gates. And then someone says, maybe a Rottweiler too, which would be funny. Granny's big ass getting fucking bit. There's 100 more comments under this, and this is probably one of the very early comments she responded to, but it doesn't look like she responded anymore because it would be towards the top. But that was it. She was afraid that draining the water from the pool would go towards her driveway. So she climbed the fence, jumped in the pool, walked over there to the extension cord, and then walked back. I guess the lady's draining the pool. But this is the same bitch that was throwing buckets of water on her backyard. And there's video of it. And she wasn't even ashamed about it. I don't know. There's your mystery Karen of the day, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. I'd move after 15 years for sure. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, support the show while we're offline at Coldberry.fund if you want to. No pressure. Remember how to lower your interest rates. That can be done only in person at your local Eastman Credit Union. Thank you guys for joining here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Mariah said we got a phone call to be on at 11 in the morning or some shit. So I guess I'll do that. Thank you guys. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next one. Love you. See you. Bye. Oh, yeah, it's the weekend. It's Friday. So have a good weekend, guys.
Tell you this about if this happens to see this particular show.
I got to finish mowing and doing some shit tomorrow, but maybe we start an earlier show tomorrow. These fucking storms were fucking with the power. I've been ready to go earlier 2 days in a row, and the storm's been knocking them out.
Balls.
Okay, Scott.
Megalos, welcome to the Discord server.
You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that
She can't move, I'd build it. Yeah, like a wooden privacy fence, right? At least 8 foot. Like she would need tools and shit to scale it, for sure.
all these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip, worshiping drums, cock and bake,
climbing gear,
swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong, starving for attention. I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up.
Thank you for that donation that came through. Buy me a coffee. What was it? Jason and Jennifer? Or something like Jennifer and Jason? Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
The place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F6.
I got to get mowed and I got to fix that toilet that's in the downstairs of the owner's house because she's got visitors that are coming Thursday next week. And I got to fix the damn...
What? I'll get my files.
The downstairs bathroom, so they don't have to walk up 2 flights of stairs to go use the restroom. So it needs a new like grinder pump thing, I think.
Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it.
Body is not a common English term. It was a while back.
Hands on his shoulders,
But it is not currently. No.
Research, they work and copy on cocks that came first. Ninth inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes.
It's the difference between I'm not the greatest at it because I have an accent, but it's the difference between body and baldy.
Time of the night. These parasites, these leeches with all their secret meat.
Body.
Reasons about baby eating heathens. Believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will bird motherfuckers.
Old fashioned like groceries. That's right.
Here we go.
I can't remember the last time I've had my butler pick up groceries.
About to get lit, get the place in the best. You know that state.
I feel poorer just saying groceries.
You ain't seen none yet. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts because you're a pussy.
I'm gonna start calling them foodstuffs.
Wearing aviator glasses in your mother's.
Good night, guys.
And I won't even give out your dime store handle.
Support the show, you bums.